Okay, now they're going left.
Okay.
And then they're doing the next one.
Ah.
And then they're doing the next one. Why? Like, why aren't they doing this one? I don't understand the logic that is driving this. Do you?
No, that was random. That makes no sense.
That makes no sense at all. Welcome back, guys. This is going to be another R&D episode, and I think this could be pretty interesting. We're going to be talking about storage. We're going to get back to first principles on this. Like, how is stuff stored? Let me, let's pause again. I want to take you through, like, how I got to where I am right now, and then we'll move on from there. So I don't have any specific answers right now, and that's what we're going to try and get to at the end of this episode. Okay, let me start out with where I started. I was thinking about storage. Like in general on the map, I was like, can I do some kind of like storage area? Because I'm not actually storing like a lot of food or whatever. And it would be kind of nice to do do an interesting storage area. And I'd been kind of sort of thinking about the staircase and thinking, could I do something with that? So I came down here and I was like, okay, so fine. Let's get the threes and let's do the old double helix. And see, like, does that have any potential? So we throw that in, and then we do the other part of the double helix, flip you around, and throw this in here. Now, for those of you who haven't watched an R&D episode before, this is going to be largely unedited, not completely unedited. I'm not here to waste your time, but we are here to talk about, like, the thought processes. The thought processes that go into this stuff, and how I like prepare for an episode, so that when you see me put something in, right, this is what I've done in the background to figure out how to do that. Okay, so obviously we'd have staircases leading up. You could have, well, no, you'd really need the path there, wouldn't you? I was going to say you could have the path there or there. But you can't really there because on the upper levels, you're going to have the staircases there. This starts to become limited about what you can do. Now, I was hoping that I could do something with large storages. So if we get a large warehouse, and let's say we've flipped this around. Okay, so you could have large warehouse there. Now, let me put in the staircases above that because we kind of need to know where our access points are. Okay, so we put those in and put the paths in. So we've got path there, path there, path there. Okay. Now this works really nicely because you can take these large storages and you can just put them on top, and you can see that each one just goes straight into the next access point above. Well, that's encouraging, isn't it? See that the next one just slots on there. The problem with this side is that although you could put a storage on the bottom level, right, you've then got a bit of a problem because, let me show you, let me throw them in. It's much easier to see this when you can actually see it. So let's see, we want to flip this around. So that one goes in there, okay, and we can get access to that on the ground floor. But if we go up to the next level, right, that arrow is going in to there. Well, the problem with that is it's trapped behind a staircase. So I flip it around. So it's going into there. And that is just not accessible. There's no way that you can put like platforms inside or anything to allow you to get to that. So it does work on this side, but that it's going to have to be stepped over one. So you can see this is not in the middle. This is over one. And it's going to be over one on that side, which is not as cool and sexy as some other designs. Also, this is not the most efficient way of getting down, because for every tile that you want to go down, you've got to go like 3 tiles. So you've got to walk 3 tiles to go down one, which is not particularly efficient. Now, if you look at my my efficient storage that I did, every warehouse was accessible in a very few tiles because all of the staircases were dedicated to get to the entrances as quick as possible. This isn't. But the advantage of this is you can go very deep. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of a limited success. So we could put that there. Now, you could use this as a model, and you could have it like that. Just bury that, and there you go. You can get an absolute ton of storage. And of course, you can have them in rows. So you can have, you know, as this going out as far as you want, and then just staircases going out as far as you want. So yeah, but the OCD amongst us would be like, no, it's not symmetrical. It's not lined up. It doesn't work. It was at that point that I was like, hang on a second. Could I do something with this under here? So let's drag this down so you can see. Now, I'm sure most of you are well versed with the storage area under here. But if you think about it for a second, the possibilities here are huge. Because if you could take this down like 2 tiles, then you could potentially have one of these water storages sitting on top of each one of these. Now, that would massively increase our storage. Now, if you could do that there and here, we could double our food storage and increase our water storage by a factor of, God knows. We'd be going from 4 storages to... there's 9 of those. So from 4 to 18 water storages, which would be huge. I mean, like super huge. How big would it be, Picture? Huge. And then I, of course, I noticed these and I was like, well, what if you could get the underground piles on the bottom? Because we've only got 4 of those. So we could potentially have 18 of those with then 18 of these large warehouses on top of those. And then on top of those, the 18 large tanks. And the thing is, if you could come up with something that would go down infinitely, you could have these on the bottom, these on the top, and then as many of these stacked on top of one another as you wanted, or as far as you could go down on the map. But then I was thinking, okay, fine. There are a couple of issues with that. The first issue is that it would mean that these underground piles would be like at the bottom, which means that the beavers have got to go all the way down. Like, let's assume that you were using the helix staircase. They've got to go all the way down to the bottom every time they want anything from those storages. Obviously, that's not a great plan, because what you want in an ideal world is to be able to access what you want quickly. But then if you want like depth of storage, so in other words, you want to be able to get, like, let's say I want a carrot, right? I want to be able to get a carrot immediately, like really quick, just boom, give me a carrot. But let's say we're in a crisis and food is dwindling and there's some big problem which has affected our food storage. I don't mind the food, like getting to the food taking a bit longer, got to walk a bit further. It's a little bit less efficient, as long as there's a lot of it to keep me alive for a long time. So that got me to where I am now, which is, how the hell do they decide how to store stuff? So we're going to go back to first principles, and we're going to do a bit of an experiment, and we're going to find out, I think. Okay, so here's the setup. We've got 2 large storages filled with pine resin. I thought that would be a good one to use. What I'm going to do is demolish those. Right, so we've now got that stuff just lying on the ground here. So we've got, loads of pine resin. We've got 4 storages here. The first one is set to obtain, and then the next 3 are set to accept. Right, so the question is, what are the haulers going to do? Well, let's find out, shall we? Let's crank this up. Now, I wanted to do this on this map because we've got like a whole load of haulers. So what I'm expecting is this to get filled up first, because this is set to obtain, and that's what's happening. But look what's happening now. You would have expected this one to maybe get filled up next, or for them to be filled up equally. But it almost seems completely random. They filled this one up. This one's only set to accept. Then a bit has gone in here, and there's nothing in the bottom one. Okay, fine. That is not what I was expecting to happen. So what this means is, in terms of efficiency, yes, if we set the top level to obtain, then we'll have like faster access to stuff. But the bottom layers are kind of pot luck on efficiency. Yeah. So once you get below the obtains, like anything can happen. I want to do the same test again, but this time they're all set to accept. So where is this stuff going to go now? This is, I would like a little bit more information about, like, how does it distribute to these? So let's see. Okay, so we go into, it's all going into the first one. Okay, that's now full. And then they go to the third one. And it's only then that stuff starts going into this one. Okay, now this is interesting. So the first and third are the preferences. So what the hell is the significance of that? Okay, these are the kinds of things that I try and find out in R&D, because if you can understand the behavior of the beavers, then you get like one step closer to like figuring out what the most efficient solution is going to be. But that is kind of leaving me mystified. So I think we need another test. Okay, so this time around, we're doubling the quantity and doubling the storages. So, yeah. So where's it going to go now? Now, you would think, based on the previous results, that it would be 1 and 3, and then 1 and 3 on this side, and then a little bit going into the 2s. But will it? Or is it going to do something that surprises us again? So demolish all of that and kick it off. Where is this going to... Okay, so we expect that to go into 1. Where's it going to go next? So we've gone into 1. then we've gone into 2. Now we'll go into 3, won't we? Now, why on earth is it going into those? Okay. Now, okay, I was expecting it to go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. But no. It ignores that one and now goes into this one. Oh, now we're getting some going into 4. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what's going on here. I understand now. This is completely ununderstandable. That's what I understand. How? Like, seriously, how? So it went into 1, then 2, then 3, then it switched to the other staircase and went into 1. A little bit went into 2, and then some went into 4. There's no rhyme or reason to that. Okay, this is how R&D goes sometimes, right? I'm trying to figure something out, and you get this, and I spend hours and hours like trying to figure out what it is, and sometimes it goes nowhere, which this one seems to be going nowhere in terms of how they figured this out. I'm tempted to do another test, just like on a surface level. Let's do it. Let's do that. Right. Well, would you like to place your bets on what's going to happen here? So we've got 4 warehouses full of pine resin, and we've got 8 warehouses set to accept pine resin. Now, I would think that we would fill up first these 2 and then these 2 because they're the closest. But I got to say, I'm sitting here prepared to be completely shocked by where this actually ends up. Honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen. All right. This is getting pretty interesting, right? So let's go and see what happens. Okay, so, okay, they're going into this one first, fine. So then you'll go into this one, I would assume, after that one's full? No! No, they go to one that's further away. Why? Can you make sense of that? Because I can't. What? I cannot think of a reason that they're filling that one up. Surely it's got... Okay, let's see what else happens. So then they go to that one, and then... And then, okay, fine, then they go to that one. But why did they do those two first? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Is there some preference to doing the ones on the right-hand side rather than the ones on the left-hand side? Okay. That has left me more confused than before I did it. Okay, so I didn't realize, but I've actually got a picture perfect looking over my shoulder, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Now, be fair, most of the time you don't have that much interest in what I'm up to.
No,
you're involved in your own stuff.
Yeah.
But this is fascinating to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
Right. Okay, so I got a request from Picture Perfect. What was your question?
I want to know if the next four get filled right and then left, in the exact same order that the first four were filled in.
Yeah. And I wasn't going to do this, but it's a legitimate question.
I'm curious.
Are they going to get filled? So is it going to be this one, then this one, and then this one, and then this one? Because if it is, we're starting to get some kind of pattern. But what if they do something different?
Oh, then I'll give up.
Then all bets are off. But I tell you, this must be interesting if Picture's interested. All right, let's do it. So let's demolish these, and then off we go. So okay, we're starting strong. Is it going to be this one? It is. Why?
See, that's interesting.
What? Why though? That doesn't make sense.
But it is a pattern.
It absolutely... Okay. I think we're going to have to see if this pattern extends further. Okay, we're going to need a bigger boat. Right. One bigger boat. Okay, so now we have 16 storages. The same arrangement that we had before. So we've got a spur off there, and then a spur there, and a spur there. And we have what? They're all set up. They're all set to accept. Now, if you're interested in the order that I set them up, they were assigned in that order. Okay, so this was the first one that was assigned, and it was the same when I set the ones up here. So it's not the order that they're assigned, and it's not the order that they're built in. So that's no help. Right, let's see what this does. Now, all right, Picture. What do you think's going to happen?
I think it's going to be the same. It'll be the closest to the right, then all the way to the right, and then the reverse to the left.
And then these.
Yeah.
And then these.
Assuming
Okay.
the pattern continues.
Well, yeah, but will the pattern continue? That's the thing. Well, let's find out, shall we? This will probably take a little bit longer because they've got a bit of a ways to come down here.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now they're going left.
Okay.
And then they're doing the next one.
Ah.
And then they're doing the next one. Why aren't they doing this one? It's way closer.
Ooh. They started that one before that one was finished.
Yeah, they've started putting a few in there, but they've done all 4 of those before they filled this one. And then they're going to do it in this direction, which is the opposite direction to the way they did these. They did right, then left. And they've done...
Oh, they did some at the bottom.
Yeah, but they always kind of do some of somewhere else. But they're basically filling this one. Okay. But hang on a second. They did these.
Yeah.
They should be doing that one next.
Yeah.
Okay, so So I'm thinking we need more so that we can see, well, how do they... Are they going to fill these ones and then these ones? Because that's the opposite of how they did the front row.
Yeah.
We've got to find out, haven't we? Okay, so just to be clear, we think they're going to do those 4 and then those 4. That's what we think, right? Because they've started filling this side.
Yeah.
But that's the opposite of what they did on the front. How? What's the logic? I can't even begin to think what the logic is behind this. So let's see if they actually carry on. Yep. So they're filling this one. And then they're going to go that way. Why? Why? That. Oh. No. They're still going to go that way. They've thrown a few in there, but they're still primarily filling this. Are they going to fill this one? They're still primarily filling. Although that one's getting pretty full. What? So that one's only half full.
What?
Okay, that is now full. And then, obviously, they're going to fill the last 2. Okay. Well, I think we've established this fairly categorically, that we have no clue how they decide where they're going to put stuff. Because it seems to be... I mean, it seems to be at random. There is some kind of pattern in there, but God knows what it is. I don't understand the logic that is driving this. Do you?
No, that was random. That makes no sense.
That makes no sense at all. Okay, we're going to do another test now. I was just explaining this to picture the difference between accept and obtain. So with accept, a warehouse will accept goods being put into it. But it doesn't try to get it. It's not issuing like demand saying, fill me up. Whereas with obtain, it's saying, I want to be full. So if there's stuff out there, I want it. I'm going to set them all to obtain. In fact, I'll just click through and you'll see that they're all set to obtain. Now, I read a post on Reddit that said that the behavior is different between accept and obtain. And I forget which way round it is. And I think it's that with obtain, it will try and do it evenly. So let's see what happens with this. Because, like, my guess would be it would do the same thing. Mm-hmm. But we'll see, won't we? Let's get. This is freaking fascinating. It's confusing as hell because I do not understand what's going on. Okay, so we're going to start on this side. We fill that one up. And then we fill this one up. Okay, so the behavior is the same. That's so weird.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, we are getting kind of slightly more scattered results with stuff going into different places. But basically, it's the same. It's done those 4, and then it's doing these. Huh. Okay, now what I want to see is, if we leave it for a little while, is it going to average them out? So that they're all like 50% full? That's what I want to see. Or does it just go, meh? No, that's fine. And apparently it just goes, nah, that's fine. Just throw them in some random one and don't worry about it. I mean, this is just them bringing stuff in from other places around the map now. Oh, this makes no sense. Okay, well, apparently we've gone down a rabbit hole, which goes nowhere. I am more confused now than when I started. You don't get this, do you?
No.
No, I don't get this at all.
No, it's weird.
The more I try and understand this, the less I understand it. Right, we're going to try and salvage something from this unmitigated disaster so far. What we're going to try and do is come up with some kind of storage solution in here. So you can see that these are the pillars that the metal platforms, the 5x5 platforms, are sitting on. If I go up. So we've got these pillars, and they're in 2 rows, and they've got four tiles in between them in both directions. So what I've done, this back wall here, that's inviolate because we've got water behind that, so we cannot touch this back wall. Okay, and then at the front, 2 tiles in front of these pillars is the water. Now, like, potentially I could actually fill in this and dynamite this bit down. So we could move one. Oh, no, we can't. I was going to say we can move one forward. No, we can't. We can't because we have the water cascading down from the top and it goes into that tile. So no, that can't be violated either. So I've set up a mock-up down here. So we've got the back wall, we've got the storages. These are the pillars, which now obviously I could move the pillars or do something to the pillars because I could knock this entire thing down. But I am trying to do this storage solution without knocking down the pillars because that I've already rebuilt this twice. I really don't want to do it again. Now, if we came up with something that was absolutely staggering, then, you know, potentially I would be prepared to do it again, but I really don't want to. Okay, let's try this. Let's assume for a second that we want like a 3-layer solution where we have the underground piles on the bottom, then we have the large storages, the large warehouses, and then we have large tanks on the top. We've got to bear in mind these access points. Now, we could change the access points, but I've got to say I'm kind of loath to do that because what we have at the moment is pretty efficient. So they can go down to like whichever storage they need to. Now, to be fair, if you think about it, like I don't know, a hauler or whatever needs to fulfill some demand at some production place. And he's going to come over here and he's going to grab some stuff and take it over there. There's no difference between him going along here and then down the stairs to the warehouse and getting the stuff he needs and then coming back up and going to where he needs to go to. There's no difference between that and if we had a single point of entry, like either on the side or here, and then like a central like corridor that ran the full length. Makes no difference. It's the same distance. Having these multiple entry points would only be advantageous if there were more like escape routes, if you like, to get to other places. Now, at the front, we've got like 4 exits, and then we've got the side exits as well. Do they make a difference? Well, these ones do, because if you think about it, we're producing all the food down here. Over here, and over here. So most of it is going to be brought up this way. And these allow them to get in and get to the appropriate storage pretty efficiently. So, yeah, there's a bunch of things to think about. But let's see what we could do. Okay, let's take the first kind of case. So let's assume that we wanted to have large underground piles. And let's assume, just for now, that we keep the same pattern. So let's drop this down a little bit. We keep the same pattern that we've got right now. Because if we could keep that pattern, that would be kind of great. So let's see. The first one, the platform is there. Okay, so we would have large pile there, boom, there. Now the center one is not going to work because that pillar's there and we can't change that. On the very top level, we do have access because it's a platform rather than solid earth. But if we dig down from here, it's going to be solid earth. So this one, you can access it on the top level, but you can't access it underneath. But losing that center one, I mean, you know, if we could get everything else, I mean, that'd be fine. I would not have a problem with that. So we'll go, so we'll skip that one. So the next one's going to be what, there? Yeah, there, and there. Now, you've always got to be going back to first principles. So the first thing is, would we even want large underground piles underneath here? What's the advantage of storing those materials under here? And I suppose you could make the argument that, not really. You could make the argument that we'd be better off storing those materials somewhere else. Because, like logs, well, we've got log storage over here because this is where we want to use them. Do we really want them up here? The same with dirt, metal. What else? What else goes into an underground pile? This is an underground pile. Dirt. Is there a big advantage to having that stored centrally? Up until now, it's been useful because we've been building this stuff. But kind of once we've finished building this end, really, there's no great reason why it should be there. Metal, not really. Metal's only going to be used by the bot builders down at Sky Industries down here in the arch end of nowhere, and over here. So storing it here. I mean, is it handy to have kind of a backup supply? Yeah, I mean, if we could get this stuff in, it would be kind of cool, but it's not really a necessity. So we'll work on the basis that, yeah, we'll try and get it in, but does it really work? And that's going to be a big question. So let's assume, for the sake of argument, that we're putting those in. Okay, well, first, how on earth do we put large warehouses on top of those? Well, obviously, we're going to have to use overhangs. Now, we can't have overhangs behind because this wall is inviolate. We cannot penetrate that wall. So I'm thinking they've got to be from the sides, haven't they? Now, what's on this end? On this end, potentially, we could actually eat into that wall. So they could be going that way. But I think probably it makes more sense to have them going this way. So let's try that. So how would we do that? I'm going to use levees to simulate either levees or terrain. So at the bottom level, we'd probably just have terrain. So we'd have terrain going across all of these like this. And then we just want, what, 4s? Yeah, 4s. So we just put 4s in across there. And that gets us our first level. Now, we should just double check that you can't put a 4 just straight over the top of it. Now, you can there, but can you in... Oh, you can in the middle. You're kidding. Oh, okay. This just got a little bit more interesting. Let's get rid of those there. I assume. See, this is why you have to play around with this stuff. You make assumptions. And I do this all the time. Because you try and apply logic and just visual things and based on other buildings that you've tried. Like, for example, the mine, you've got to be much higher than you think you've got to be. So if we crank this up, because I had the idea when I made Scrapbot City a separate district, I had the idea of actually putting the district capital on top of the mine, right? And I thought, oh well, what we'll do is we'll put in some platforms. Let's say platforms. We'll put in some platforms behind, right? And then how high is that going to be? Oh yeah, an overhang should go over the top of that. Nah. Oh no. Let's see. What do I want? I was on the right tab already. So let's get some 6s. Now hang on a second. That is going over the top of that. Okay, I thought it needed to... I would have sworn that needed to go one further. Does that actually clip it does. Maybe this is what confused me then. But yeah, that is clipping into this, but it clears it. In that case, it was something else. It was something else that I was trying to get over the top of that wouldn't work. Can we actually get below this so we can actually see it clipping in? Maybe we can. Yeah, look, that is definitely clipping through it. Now, I know that trees will clip through platforms, but there was another building that I was trying then. I thought it was the mine, but it wasn't. Okay, well, move on then, Sky. Now you've embarrassed yourself again. I'm used to it. All right, but this is very this is very cool. If we can get away, well, I want force. If we can get away with just slinging force straight over the top of that, well, that saved us 1 tile in height straight away. So that's kind of beautiful. Now, I would be kind of happy if we could just have like 1 row of these. So we've got the large, the underground piles on the bottom, then those, and then on top of those, we could just put the, what do I want? I want water storage, large tank. The large tanks to sit on top of those. But I'm now thinking, since we've saved that tile, could we get another set of large warehouses? Now, we've got to be careful how high we go, because we've got a restriction of about 10 tiles of depth. If we look at the outer dam wall, let's see. Yeah, that's coming up to like 1 tile below this level. Okay, so let's see how many we got. Well, maybe we've actually got a few more. I know that this is about 10. Let's see. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, 10. That's 10 to there, but it's actually 12 to there. And that is 1 tile below this level. So in theory, we've got 12, 13, 14, 15. So in theory, we've got 15 tiles. Good heavens. That could be a huge amount of storage. The problem is getting down to it. Now, how would we do that then? Now, obviously, we could use a spiral staircase to get down there. But we've already established that spiral staircases are fairly inefficient. Huh. But they do give you infinite depth. And if you're not that bothered about getting to the stuff quickly, like in a late stage game like this, I want fast access to initial food. So I want my beavers to be able to go and get their food very, very quickly and easily. Right? So we set the top level to obtain. The food's going to be sitting there. Boom, they get it, gone, done. But the rest of the stuff that's stored in there, do I care how fast they get to these underground piles? Do I care how fast they get to the next 1, 2, 3 large storages underneath that first one? Well, maybe not. And if that's the case, this might actually be viable. All right. Well, let's see what we could do then. Huh. I'm going to have a bit of a think. Oh, now, hang on a second. I've put those in the wrong place, and that's a problem. Get rid of those, because that's how mistakes are made, Sky, for goodness sake. That's how you screw things up. I know. I'm an expert in it. Right, so let's bang a couple of those in. Now, okay, we do need to ask the question, are we trying to get like 1 set in or 2 sets in? Because that does make a bit of a difference. But maybe not necessarily. Because, okay, let me show you. What am I trying to do? So the underground piles, if we put the underground piles in like there, which is like butting up against this pillar, then we've still got that central corridor all the way along, haven't we? Yeah, we have, Scott. It's a good point. Yeah, I know, right? That's why I mentioned it. The issue is getting down there. But like I'm saying, it doesn't. As long as we can get down there, it doesn't matter, does it? So let's assume that that's our central corridor running along there. And then we just have the paths connecting like that. Okay, fine. Right, but you've got to do that on multiple levels. Okay, well, that's not a problem because we just put paths in. Platforms. Yeah, but you've got to say it in the same high voice. Platforms. You've got to put platforms in. Why am I sounding like I'm from Manchester? Sorted. Yeah, so, I mean, literally, you've just got to put platforms in. And now, as long as you've got a method of accessing every level, which a double helix does give you, then this is problem solved, isn't it? And I can have as many levels as I can, literally as many levels as I can fit in. And my God, that's a lot of storage. Yeah, and the overhangs are exact. I'm trying to think of like, hang on a second, where's the problem you're going to run into? But I'm not running into a problem right now. So, does this just work? And I think it does. Let's, I'm going to keep putting the buildings in because, like, often when you just put in a few of the... Well, where am I? There we are. I was getting tangled up in the tower. When you just put a few buildings in, sometimes you can kind of miss something that trips you up later when you actually try to do the full thing. But I'm not seeing a problem here. So on the first layer, we'd want singles. We could just put singles, like literally just lay them all in and not care. And then the next layer would be doubles, wouldn't they? Because we go up, yeah, we go up 2 from there. So that would just be doubles all the way along. Okay. So then we just need to get there. Now, it would be really nice to have 8 of these because that's all the 8 foodstuffs. And this is just going to be for storing food. Dynamite and gears and anything else, to be honest, can be stored somewhere else on the map where it's more appropriate for them to be stored. Although, yeah, I mean, dynamite storage would be quite nice. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, I've got the 8, but we're also going to have this row. So, yeah, I can have gears and dynamite and every other thing that I can possibly think of. Let's see, what can you store in here? So, yeah, okay, so dynamite, gears, paper, pine resin, not really. But and then all of the rest is food. I mean, some of the things that are used to make the food, like having a store of potatoes might not be the worst thing in the world. Maybe having a store of wheat. So, yeah. Well, that gives us all the storage. We're going to have tons of dynamite and gears and anything else that's useful. Okay, where's the floor? Where the hell is the floor? I don't mean like this. You're probably going, it's right there. It's the green stuff on the ground. That's the floor. No. I'm talking about FLAW. the fly in the ointment. What's the fly in the ointment? And I'm sitting there thinking, there isn't one. Well, let me put in a double helix and see if we could actually get it to go to all the levels. Okay, well, immediately something strikes me because if I put this here, if I start the helix there, then the stairs would have to go there for that one. But then the other one is coming in this direction and the stairs would need to go there. Well, that doesn't work. So it's going to have to be oriented the other way. Where's my 3? So it would have to be that way, wouldn't it? So if we have it that way and that way, cool. Now, these platforms are going that way. So these platforms would go that way. That's a key thing to put in. So those would be like that. Okay, so to get down to the bottom level, this becomes relatively straightforward. We'd have staircase there, and that gives us access to the bottom level, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. You sure about that? Yeah, pretty sure. Okay, we are down, and we've already established that connects to everything. Okay, fine. So, in that case, what do we want? We want, let's do, well, let's see. Let's do this one then. So that goes that way. Oh, it's going anti-clockwise. Hang on a second. And that goes in there. So this one goes boom, 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 boom. That's enough. And then this one goes that way, doesn't it? So there, 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 there. Okay, cool. Right, first level, that's fine. That works. You need to put some stairs in, Sky, if you're actually going to do this. All right, fine. I'll put some stairs in. It's it's a bit difficult to see stuff. Look, you know what? Let's crank this down so that we can actually see what we're doing. So let's go up one. Well, let's go up. Okay, so we're going to have stairs. So we have path comes across there. So that's the first set of stairs there and there. Then we go up a level. And the stairs are going to be there and there. Up a level. And the stairs there and there. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Paths. Let's do the paths. So this is just going to go like that. This one's going to go like that. Cool. We go up. There and there. And up again. There and there. And up again. And there and there. Okay. So let's see. Where are our exit points? So this is an exit point, isn't it? Yep. So we have platform there. Now, what are we doing? We're going up one level, aren't we? So we need to put like these going across here. And, okay. So how do we get to this? You see, I thought that was going to be like dead easy, but actually it's not necessarily. It might be though. So, oh, okay. No, it's actually surprisingly easy. We just have a platform there and a platform there. That's already a path coming out. And we just need a path there. That gives us access to that level. Okay, fine. Then the next level is up 2, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, fine. So our access point, well, yeah, our access point's going to be there and there. What about now? This one works. And boom, we've got access to the central corridor to all of these. Okay, done. Now, that just continues to the top. Wherever the top is, we just bang these on and we're golden. Oh, my, guys, we've cracked it. I would kind of liked to have a central access point, but also have access points on the sides to try and speed up access. So instead of having to go to the center and then go down, that they could actually like go down here and then get in. Because like if they want to go to the one that's here, it's kind of silly to have to go all the way there, go down, and then walk all the way back here again. If they could get straight down, it'd be great. But I think we can, because we've got this 3x3 area there, which is right next to the storage, I believe. Let's go down. Yeah. And if we... Now, bear in mind that we've used 3... Well, actually, we've used a 3x5 area, haven't we? Plus the central corridor. So, I suppose we want 5x5. Yes, we want 5x5. Have we got 5x5? Yes, we have. Oh, yes, we have. So, that's 5x5. So we can have them at the sides, in the center. It gives us access to absolutely everything. Oh my God, and the amount of storage is insane. Oh, well, there you go. So I guess you're going to be seeing that at some point in the series. So there you go. I mean, that is a fairly typical R&D session where I was interested in one thing, didn't pan out, rabbit hole, went nowhere. But then that idea kind of led me to this and a successful I think that's a successful conclusion. My God, the amount of storage. Bear in mind, this is 7 high, right? So we can go up, what did I say, 15 tiles? So 7 plus... We can have, I think, either 5 or 6 of these stacked, and then the water barrels on the top. Wow. And how, that's going to be a lot of water. That's going to be a lot of water. Awesome. Freaking sauce. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there for this R&D session. I hope you had some fun watching the process. I hope you like the idea of this storage, and I hope it gives you maybe some inspiration for storages of your own in your own games. Picture, do you want to say goodnight?
Good night, guys.
Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I'm really looking forward to your comments and see what you think and your ideas about like what else I could have done or could do or shouldn't have done, and any theories that you have about how the hell they distribute the goods to the warehouses, because that's got me completely foxed. Guys, catch you for the next one. Peace out.